After travelling around the world for a month, I was heading back to Christchurch after 4 days in Auckland, and I was exhausted. I really could not be bothered with doing another Christchurch video, as no one, including myself, is going to bother watching that. Instead, I decided that for the solo trip of Christchurch without Ching, I would do a catch-up with friends and take a few photographs of them, and write about why I'm so proud of them over the years, as I've informally documented their lives and our friendships. So on this trip, I caught up with my friend Jack, who I've not seen properly in at least 2 years. He's got kids and is a very busy dude, so often our schedules don't align when I'm down in Christchurch. But this time we decided it would be best if I stayed at his, so that way we could have a proper catch up. Staying with Jack was great for me. I really got to catch up with him, and it had been such a long time since I had done so.
Just what?
It was really good to hang out with Jack. I really appreciate these moments, especially as Jack took me up the hill towards the city, where I was able to capture the sunset on slide film. Due to the nature of these slides, I now have this moment in time captured quite literally. Sometimes your friends are always late, but that's okay, because you know life is busy and they will turn up and be there for you when you need them the most. I've known Georgia for years. We used to run concerts together, and now she runs events all along the country, swapping out black flag t-shirts in the spirit for Kai Hanga Ora, and writing papers on Indigenous studies. I tried to take some photos of her so she would update her profile pic from the one I took 5 years ago. Sometimes your friends pick you up in an old Honda Civic, where you go for a drive and come across just the wildest things. I've been friends with Amy for a very long time, and I'm very proud of my friend Amy, who is not far from completing her PhD. Sometimes your friends are super busy, so when you fly in, the best they can do is have you pop over for lunch whilst they work from home, so you can have a quick catch up, and that's just fine. And they can show off to you their new home that they've just moved into after getting married. Sam has always been a good friend. He's one of those friendly giants. We often have similar interests, and we always have something to talk about.
Okay, Google, turn off all the lights. What was it saying? It's really hard. F8 200. Rusty, but contrast.
Sometimes your friends are the ones who record your B-roll when you ask, and they just happen to work as videographers and share your interest in cameras and cinematography. I've known Hemi for about a decade, and he's always been a source of knowledge, especially when it comes to video.
Is that? Yeah, I think that's the shot. Even though you can kind of see the neighbour's stuff, but it's just like... I'll cut that out of the sound.
He's just moved recently up to the north of the country for a new job, supporting an iwi with video content. I'm glad to see that he's finally getting a job that really fits what he wants to do with his life, and he will always be someone who I come to for feedback, in particular with the videos and art that I make. I've known James for about a decade as well, first meeting him while studying, and then watching him grow and build a stable life. Many would be deceived by James's initial appearance, but he's actually incredibly business savvy, who has built all of his wealth from the ground up. Having owned and flipped properties and other adventures, and travelled and studied abroad. It's been incredible to watch his success, and the way he finds opportunities that no one else does is really awesome to see in a mate with so much drive who is self-motivated and really achieves what they set out to as a goal.
I do YouTube now, so sorry. I'm sorry.
This is Jim. We don't hang out all that often, but I met Jim about a decade or so ago whilst I was studying a photography course. He's become a very successful photographer who specialises often in what I do not, and that's great because we can learn off each other, and that helps us both grow. And he's always a source of photographic wisdom and always down for a little photo walk to try out some new old cameras. Whilst I was down, I ran into my friend Heather, who left Christchurch the same time I did. Whilst I went up to Wellington, she went to the West Coast and became a nurse, and has been building a career in a role that is really important for everyone. Sometimes your friends will let you take bad photos of them, for in return someday they will be good, and Heather has always been there as a semi-willing participant. Sometimes friends bring colour into your life. Following on from my Christchurch part of my New Zealand tour was Wanaka, where my friend Susie lives with her partner and her kid and their 3 cats. I first met Susie via one of my other friends. She was needing a flat at the time and we needed a flatmate. Not going to lie, pizza is an easy way to win over a flat, and she worked at a pizza place at the time. She now runs a pizza store in the scenic town of Wanaka. And I have a friend I can stay with who will take me to awesome spots to take scenic landscape photos. Susie is a really good friend who is willing to retake me back to spots such as the iconic blue pools in Wanaka, because the last time the weather was raining, I did get an awesome shot of Susie and her daughter when we were there last, which I tried to recreate this time with her partner Brad instead. This time we also recreated this photo of Athena with Brad's help. Honestly, gotta say, her partner Brad is an awesome dude and a good father, and hanging out with both is a blast. And while the blue pools were out of action again, I got some awesome slide photos that they'll appreciate in the future. Every time I come down, I capture a yearly snapshot of their life. So over time, I didn't realize, but I was becoming a bit of a photojournalist. So each year I was documenting their life, creating little snapshots, incidental photojournalism, but creating key markers in their lives, which I know they appreciate. It's really good when your friends go out of their way to support you, and I hope they feel I support them. Susie has always been there for me, and sometimes does awesome things like drive me to this gas station to take a ubiquitous film photo that is 100% original. From digital days, gigs, impromptu portrait sessions, in the days of when I did not know how to shoot film. In the days that were filled with shenanigans. I've known Ollie a long time, coming up to somewhere near a decade it feels like. He's always been the most easy to get along with friend that I have. Now that Ollie has moved up to Wellington, we will often catch up and go watch whatever is the latest blockbuster out. I had to move out of Christchurch so that I would get new opportunities and grow, and Ollie did the same. I think we both enjoy having a little bit of home wrapped up in a friend who we can catch up with every once in a while. This is my mate Billy, who is checking out my slide photos from Japan, as he had also been there recently. I met Billy after we were both getting off the bus and realised that we were both going to study at the same course. Since then, we've kept in touch as we've both ended up in Wellington. He is my fried chicken buddy, and we often catch up and have a good yarn about music, but also how we both come at our different artistic endeavours, which is always interesting to compare and chat about.
More fun than doing nothing at all. So I just allow myself to have no dopamine whatsoever. So then I'm like, fuck, I need to get it somehow. I can't just get it from scrolling, just scrolling.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Go out and capture your friends. You are the record keeper of their lives. And whilst this may be personal photojournalism, these photographs you take of your friends may be some of the ones that are actually the most endearing to you, especially as you look back through your portfolio. As always, it's been real, guys. Until next time.
Should be just as simple as popping, and there it is. Now for the hard part. Got that there. God, see, that's the hard part. Really loves to spring that out. Now trying to grab it out is the hard part. Look at that. Not too bad.